Hello and welcome, my wonderful shining being across time and space and all dimensions. It is I, Sylvia Hartman, Sylvia with an I, coming to you live from beautiful Eastbourne by the sea where the sun is shining, the sky's blue, the birds are singing, and it's freezing outside. But I'm happy and warm inside today and looking forward to what this live stream is going to bring. I'm feeling really excited this morning and I've just been really looking forward to it. Sometimes, it comes along Sunday, 10 o'clock, oh no, live stream. But today it was like, yeah, let me at it. I've been ready for an hour, waiting to get started. Oh, and I have my very first live shining being here with me. Good morning, Carol Ann. Lovely to see you, and lots of love to your lovely husband too. My lovely bear is with me this morning. Good morning, bear. And Marianne, fantastic. We're amongst friends here. Isn't that beautiful? In a safe space where we can step away from every day and focus a little bit on those things that nobody's talking about. Nobody seems to know about. Nobody seems to have any idea of what's going on with that. And that's the wonderful topic of energy and emotions and our real living, breathing, expanding, unfolding energy body. And I love the fact that we are here and that there's only a few of us. It makes it so much more personable and so much more, I don't know, friendly, if we can use that term. I don't have to sit here and worry about millions of people being upset with what I'm saying or wanting to argue with me or wanting me to explain myself. This has been all going on for a long, long time. I am the creator of modern energy. Modern energy is essentially different from just about anything else we've ever been told is true, that we've ever been taught. And it's just such a marvelous thing, really. And I've just realized I've started and my microphone's not in place. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, bring forth the microphone. Whee, there it comes. Okay, guys, can you hear me better now? Is that better for you? I hope you haven't turned it up full volume and now I'm blowing your ears out. But yeah, that's the wonder of live streaming for you. You just don't know what's going to happen. And for some reason, I'm not at all like distraught by this. I'm actually kind of funny. It's kind of amusing. I apologize for this, but I was just really looking forward to it. And I'm like, oh, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. And I didn't check the microphone. Well, mental note, let's move on. Okay, I was just going to say, yeah, I am the creator of modern energy, and it's different from anything else that's ever been before. And people at first don't really realize this, but when they start getting into it a little bit, there's this moment where they do go, oh my God, this is so different. This is just totally different. And you're right, it is. It is totally different. It's because it's been built by me from the ground up on certain basic principles, such that love is the greatest power in the universe. Energy is the greatest power that there is. It's what this word power is all about. Empowerment has got to be about energy, having more power inside yourself, and oh man, yeah. And it's been a super long journey for a single individual, in the greater scheme of things. The planet's been here for billions of years, but for me personally, so this started in 1993. In 1996, I wrote my first book on personal development, and that was Project Sanctuary. And in order to publish it, because nobody wanted to take that on, because it was just this has always been the problem. What I do is so outside the established ideas of everything about everything, and particularly psychology, that the people who published all the same stuff, where everybody sings from the same trauma hymn sheet, they look at that and they go, oh, this doesn't fit in. It's nothing like what everybody else says. And so they don't want to publish it. And I understand that. I do. So I started a publishing company, Dragon Rising, it's called. And I left a link in the comments if you haven't seen the story of Dragon Rising. And it does have a lot to do with a painting. Let's say good morning to some of our lovely people here. Good morning, Cheryl Dean, star person from Star Matrix 21 or Star Matrix 4. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Wendy Stoughton, hello. Good morning. Wendy says, let's see if I can find that here. My maiden name is Power. Well, that's a great maiden name. You don't want to be giving that up to anybody, or at least add it to, marry somebody called Beauty, and then you can be Wendy Power Beauty or something like that. And, create a new dynasty based on that with a heraldic shield. That would be kind of groovy, wouldn't it? Yeah, so we celebrated Dragon Rising's 25th anniversary. 25 years of oh man, being different, being so different from what everybody else is saying and doing, and the games they're playing, and holding that space firm and saying, no, I don't care if there's billions of people who tell me I'm wrong. I'm going to keep on with this because I know I'm right. Don't know what that says about my character, but I haven't given up. I'm still here. I have managed to, I don't know what the word is for that, shown some people what it is that I discovered and what I believe works. And some people have actually gone ahead and used that, what I've said, and they found it to be beneficial. And especially with Project Sanctuary, that we now call Supermind. It's one of those things that I wasn't sure what would happen if people actually did that. I couldn't know because nobody had ever done anything like Project Sanctuary before, not in the history of humankind. And so I couldn't know what the long-term effects would be. And so I was nervous, obviously, as you should be. You should be careful, run experiments when you're doing something like that. And it turns out that 25 years later, the people who've done Project Sanctuary are still grateful for it. They're still using it. They're still loving it. And the longer they've been doing it, the more they sort of come on board with my idea that Project Sanctuary is the greatest gift a person could ever receive in life. This is what I believe. It's my absolute love of my life. None of us would be here. There would be no modern energy without it. And not just would there be no static modern energy about it. Project Sanctuary has this evolution built in. There's new things to be discovered. There's new things to be found. And how exciting is that? Good morning, dear Martin. Thank you for supporting me on my live stream. I think that's just a wonderful evolution. My partner actually listens to my live streams. That is so beautiful and such a massive evolution from the way things used to be for me. And good morning, Alan. Good morning, Alan. We have spent so many good times together at conferences and things, which I most fondly remember. Okay, so yeah, the title of this live stream was, Are You an Ugly Duckling or Are You a Swan? And I think that's a really interesting question. I have done a previous live stream on the topic of reality divergence. So we have real reality. Hello, I'm real reality. And real reality sort of goes on its way, goes on its magic path through life. And then we have people's ideas of reality. And theoretically, they should be the same, or they should at least be similar. But they're not. People's ideas of reality, forgotten which one that was, this one. Ideas of reality and reality itself diverge. And the more they diverge, the worse things become in a measurable cause and effect. There becomes a tension in a person's life when their idea of reality and reality itself start to diverge. And the more they diverge, the more difficult, weird, chaotic, incomprehensible life becomes. The more accident prone, the more bizarre, the more painful, suffering, illness, everything, lack of love, all sorts of things, the worse it gets. And I've been doing this visibility course for the GOE members. And it is so clear to me now that the greatest divergence that causes this sort of chaos is when a person thinks that they're an ugly duckling, but in reality they are a swan. Hans Christian Andersen wrote this brilliant story to try and explain that problem, that if you can be the most beautiful thing in the world, you can be the most magical creature in existence, the most elegant, the most powerful, the most with the biggest wings. But if you believe you're an ugly duckling, your reality is going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. It can't not be. And the more that goes on, the longer that goes on, literally the longer that goes on, the worse it gets until there has to be some kind of breakdown, some kind of crunch that makes that whole thing collapse because the tension has become too great. Yeah, and so here's then the question. Are you an ugly duckling or are you a swan? If you're an ugly duckling, and you're right about that, you should have literally no reality divergence. You should have a wonderful time with all the other ugly ducklings and doing what the ducklings do. And I call that the happy zombie principle. See, people are so afraid of becoming a zombie, but this is only a problem as long as you're still a normal human being. Once you get bitten and you turn into a zombie, all you think about basically is brains. You are no longer worried that you're falling apart and that you look horrible and that you're losing limbs. It's not a problem anymore because you are now a happy zombie with all the other zombies stumbling around shouting for brains. And so it is like with the ugly duckling. If you really are an ugly duckling and your life is brilliant, you're having fun with the other ugly ducklings, you're doing what they are doing, you're feeling totally in the flow, and everything's working out just fine. You know what to eat and where to go, and everything's brilliant. Life is amazing. Then, cool. There's not a problem. There's no problem with being an ugly duckling. However, if you think you're an ugly duckling and in fact you're a swan, you're going to have this greater and greater reality divergence until there has to come some kind of cataclysm, an illness, an accident, some total drama to snap you out of this insane delusion that has become further and further away from reality and bring you back down to earth, bring you back into some kind of, hey, wake up. You weren't an ugly duckling, you were a bloody swan, and this is why your life wasn't working. So I'm not sitting here saying that we're all swans. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if we can get some kind of at least slightly realistic idea of who we actually are, then the chaos in our lives will recede. the possibility of illness, accident, injury, chaos, and drama will recede. And it becomes more of a, at least semi-flow, where some things are starting to work and other things not so much, but at least it's not this horrible divergence that is causing all that chaos and stress. So these thoughts here, they came to me while I was painting my swan behind me. And to me, in the development of my thoughts and of my systems and testing my systems, spending that time, those 25 hours on designing and drawing and coloring in and glazing something like my swan here behind me, that gives me the time to really, really think about concepts such as the ugly duckling and the swan, and how that plays out for real in real people's lives every hour of every day, every hour of every night, and how we really must strive as a personal development goal to get to know one another, to get to know ourselves, to really get to know ourselves. Because once we realize what we are, who we are, and then all of a sudden things just become so much easier and so much less conflict riddled. And for some people, after this enormous crash has happened once, and then it's happened again, and it's happened again, and it's happened again, and now they're just tired. They're tired, they're exhausted. And especially if you know anybody like that, what you really need to do is to start challenging that idea that they are somehow cursed, or that there's something so fundamentally wrong with them that they can never find happiness. It is of the essence to say to such people, the more chaos you had in your life, and the more pain and the more suffering, the greater the divergence is between who you think you are and who you really are. And you need to reassess that. What if you were wrong about being an ugly duckling? What if you were wrong about that? Or just the same, the other way around. What if you thought you were a swan, but you just haven't got the wingspan? You haven't got this and that and the other. And you're a duck, man. And ducks are amazing in their own right. They're their own thing. They do their own thing, and they do it brilliantly. Both way around. Really, really start challenging what you've been told all your life by other people, by societal opinions, by fashions of the day, who you are, what you are, whether you're good enough to be something or the other, to challenge that. And the more chaos and trauma and drama there's been in your life, the more you now need to challenge that. And really, really sit down with yourself and have a look at your life, and not just have a look at all the goddamn trauma, because that's just telling you where things go wrong. We need to know where things went right. That's what's missing in the equation. And that is why Star Matrix is so important. It has never been more important, more essential, more, oh God, necessary, needed than it is right now. That people individually start to get more of a sense of who they are, what they can do, a reality-based sense, based on the evidence, the actual evidence of their life. I can go around saying that I haven't got much of an attention span. I get bored easily. I'm just a creative artist. But then we have reality, evidence. Like, I started a publishing company 25 years ago that was spectacularly unsuccessful to become extremely wealthy and represented in every bookshop in the world. But I never gave up. I never gave up at all. I kept going. I'm still going 25 years later. So wait a minute. What does that say realistically about my abilities to persevere against all the odds? Realistically, that says that I clearly am a person who doesn't give up, who may have their moments when they break down and cry and want to chuck it all out the window. But then they regroup themselves and start again and start afresh and start anew and keep going, just keep going. So yeah, that was in and of itself for me like, wow, yes, that's the proof. There it is. It's there. Absolute proof in my behavior, in what I've actually done, rather than what I thought I was doing or failing at being a publisher or something. I don't know. God almighty. Yeah, I'm hoping that by telling you this, I'm giving you some kind of spark, something that's triggering inside of you, where you have some sort of a wrongful idea of what you are, but actually your life's experience proved that this was completely false. Completely false. It's completely wrong. I remember another one of those. That was about, I don't know, 2, 3 years ago. I always thought that I'm terrible at keeping things safe. And that's sort of an old thing from the parents. Oh, you're always losing your school books. You're always doing blah, blah, blah. And so, oh yeah, I had to go to the German embassy to renew my passport. And to take one of the documents they want to see is my UK driving license, which I have from 1978. And I've never lost it. I've never lost it, never misplaced it, never needed to apply for a new one. It doesn't even look particularly shabby because it was kept careful and safe for all those years, through all my house moves, through all my ups and downs, through all my chaos and crisis. That driving license exists. It's still there. I've looked after it. Sorry, Mummy, you were wrong about me. You were wrong about me. For things that matter to me, I am super careful, super protective, and completely capable to keep a driving license for 40 years so that it still looks as good as new. You were wrong about me, Mummy. I've learned something about myself. Wow. Yeah. Tripping down memory lane. Let's see what the guys are saying here to this. Got a couple of new people coming. Kumazier, Rebecca, Janice, and Lorna. Good morning, Lorna. Yeah, we're talking about reality divergence, people, about how we need to reassess who we are so that our lives work better. If you've missed the first bit, I strongly recommend you watch it from the beginning at some point, because that's really important. What's happening in the world at the moment, in the personal development psychology world, and in the wider spheres that are being influenced by that, is that the trauma focus and the victim focus has been ratcheted up to 11. It's been the Me Too movement, for example, is a fantastic example of that, where there are some people who really were traumatized, but the vast majority of people actually had not been traumatized. But what they've been taught to do was to review their memories through the lens of every little insult, every little thing, and then pick out those little things that happened and then pile them up in order to make an argument for whatever. There are real problems there that had to have been addressed. Okay, so there were serial abusers who used their power to frighten people into having to have sex with them and all the rest of it. This is very true. But now this pattern is being applied not just to, sexual abusers, but to any kind of relationship. Imagine for a moment you sat down and thought about any relationship you've ever had, and then went through it and picked out every single little insult, every single thing that happened, every single argument, and took all of that out of context and just piled it up on this pile of the pile of misery, the pile of trauma, the pile of hurt, injury, insult, and drama. And then as this pile grows, it sort of feeds back on you. It feeds back on you. Oh my God, I didn't realize what a victim I've been. I didn't realize that. And now I can see it everywhere, in every memory, every relationship. This is hyper dangerous. This is hyper dangerous, and it's exactly the wrong way round. The other day, I saw a photograph, a very rare photograph of my ex-husband and my current partner standing together, the three of us standing together in a single photograph. I was married for 25 years, and then I had a phase of no marriage. There could be me in the middle, and then the new partner on the other side, who's been with me for 9 years now. And I just looked at that through the star matrix lens, and the amount of love blew me away. The sheer amount of love blew me away. And it made me, oh man, I could start to cry, honestly. Wow. Not only have I been loved in this life, I have also loved so much. And this is the exact opposite of the Me Too victims lens. This is the exact opposite. And it just blew me away with its power to heal so many things just in an instant. And it's the amazingness of it. And also, this now, let's go in the future. This is the proof again of which I was talking. You know, I've proven it with a driving license from 1978 that I can be careful with things. With this photograph, I am proving that I can love and I can be loved. So surely this is a trajectory. I will go on loving and I will go on being loved into the future, because that's how it is. That's how it was. This is how it is. This is how it will be. I am so worried that all the people who are now looking at their past relationships through the Me Too lens will end up with the exact opposite. They might end up with a timeline of partners and lovers. Well, he abused me and she abused me and it abused me and they abused me and they abused me, and I can now project into the future I will be abused even more. And that just collapses love. It collapses life itself. I don't even want to know what psychological and physical problems that'll produce. It is an enormous reality divergence because it wasn't true. There were good things and bad things in every relationship. It wasn't just all bad. It wasn't. No matter how much people think it is and believe that. Oh, God, where's the love going? What can I say? I can say that if you can fight your way over to the side of love, you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded. You will be rewarded with lives that are less chaotic, dramatic, and horrendous. You will be rewarded with an absence of illness, drama, suffering, and pain. You will be rewarded with love, with good experiences, good feelings, and so importantly, looking forward to the future. Looking forward to the future. God Almighty. At this point, some people say we need an army of love. And I'm like, no, we're not fighting a war here. This is not the old. Modern energy is new. It is new. It is different. It will find new and exciting solutions to old problems. That is built into it. When we get energy higher, we become more intelligent and we'll come up with much better ideas how to deal with things rather than declaring war. on this, that, and the other, which is just rubbish, absolute rubbish. Right, so I'm going to hop off my soapbox and see what our friends have to say to this. Oh, man. I'm just going to say hi to Mercy. I've read your comment. I like it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. And let's see what Wendy says. It's where we choose to focus. Yes, it is where we choose to focus. You know, we have this incredible ability to create these lenses through which to view stuff. And they delete things. These lenses delete things. And they just, so you can look through the trauma lens and all the good becomes deleted and all that's left is trauma. A pile of ashes. Oh, bones and teeth and ashes. And then you can look through the star matrix lens and all that's left is love and golden sunshine. And whoa, you know, I was going to start crying again. Not even going to apologize for it, you know. It's so moving. It is so moving. And then we have that choice. Which lens do you want to look through? Make that choice. And look, of course, I want everyone to look through the lens of love. Because that's where the truth is. That's where the information is, the data. That's where the real story is told. I want everybody to look through the lens of love. Of course I do. But before we get there, and in service of free will and human intelligence, what I really want is to give people that choice. Which one? Which one do you want to look through? Do you want to look through that lens that will reduce your incarnation to a pile of ashes? Or do you want to look through the lens that focuses on love? Which one do you want to use? Bearing in mind the long-term effects on your mind, on your body, on your spirit, and where you end up in physical, mental, and emotional health and worldly power and worldly success. That arises from looking through these two different lenses. This is not a dilemma. You know, it's not like saying, oh, these are the same. Choose, you know, make up your mind, choose one or the other, and the outcome will be the same. It's not. And I want people to clearly understand that they have a choice, which one they want to do. People don't know that because they have been brought up in that world of sackcloth and ashes and skeletons and global warming and fucking hell, sorry. They don't know it. They don't know that there is an alternative lens. And the love lens, if you want to call it that, is what I've been basing my life's work on, which is why it was not acceptable to the mainstream, why it was not acceptable at other people's conferences, why it was not acceptable to be published or talked about, and in fact had to be stomped down because it was so different and other, and challenged the presuppositions and offered a different way of looking at the world for a change, for the better. Oh my God. Let's see what Cheryl has to say. The Me Too perspective. Also, people could go on the other extreme, believing they've brought it all on themselves. See, when you look through the love lens, you don't have that problem anymore. You just don't have that problem anymore. It's gone. It's completely immaterial why you were so happy on that day, why you had such a fantastic experience in that moment. with that person, with that painting, with that sunrise, with that cat. The why doesn't matter. It becomes a thank God it happened. Thank you. And if you don't like the word God, just, the great creative order. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to experience that. And there you get your gratitude. It's a side effect. It's a side effect of focusing on love. Find something to love. And your entire reality absolute will thank you. It will reward you when you're doing things right. I keep saying that. There is a real reality outside of what people think there is. There really is a real reality out there. And when we get things right, then it feels good and it works. And when we get things wrong, then it feels bad, it doesn't work, and it causes chaos, destruction in its wake. Really simple. God, it's so simple. Good morning, Heidi. Yes, go and watch it from the beginning. It was really good, and it's important. Okay, guys, so the swan behind me, my happy swan. Finding out who you really are, then, rather than accepting what was said about you or what you believe to be true, is the theme of this live stream. To start seriously starting tabula rasa. Tabula rasa means a clean table. So imagine, if you will, there's a table in front of you, a huge table, one of those medieval banquet tables, and goes off into the distance. And on that table, there's everything everybody has told you about who you are. And on this table, there's also sort of spiky things where aspects made decisions about who you are because they were, I don't know, upset, hormonal, angry, outraged, whatever. And there's all these weird objects on this gigantic table that stretches out into the dusk of the end of the hall. And these are all the things that you think you know about yourself. And well, I'm suggesting that this giant, magical, sparkly wind blows all of that stuff off the table. All of it. Get rid of all of it. And start again. Start afresh with a totally empty table. Tabula rasa. And now we start putting on that table what we can know to be true and what we can prove. And start again. And hold our horses on deciding whether we're a duck or a swan or a goose or a dragon or a horse or whatever. Hold our horses. Let's not decide just yet. Let us accumulate some more evidence from a better perspective, from the perspective of having lived life for 20 years, for 40 years, for 60 years, for 80 years. What is it that we've actually really done? Where have we never faltered? Like me with my spectacularly unsuccessful publishing company. If you take, the idea of a successful publishing company is a huge, big publishing house where loads of people work and they sell millions of books and nobody cares, really. It's all about the money. Ooh. Yeah, so put some stuff on the table that you can prove. Like, I was married for 25 years. This is my first marriage. So I'm fairly loyal. I think we can prove that with a 25-year marriage. Let's put that on the table. I'm loyal. I have perseverance. I have a publishing company that ran for 25 years. Put that on the table. I have a driving license from 1978. I can keep things safe. Let's put that on the table. Don't draw any conclusions from any of it. Just put some more things on that table that are true, that can be proven, that have played out over and over again in your life, and just keep walking around this big, long table. Add some more to it now. But hold your horses. Don't come to any conclusions just yet about who you are. We don't know enough yet. We've been focusing for way too long just on the trauma and the victimhood, all the bad things that have happened in our lives. Way too long. Our lifetimes we've been doing that. It needs to stop and start this new inquiry. That's all I'm asking for. I'm asking for a new inquiry to gather new evidence, gather new facts, gather new insights, interview witnesses in a different way, find new witnesses. And there may come a time when this reality divergence between who you really are and who you think you are starts coming a little bit more into harmony. And when it does, you will, and I promise you this, you will feel a huge relaxation taking place. Oh God, thank God for that. This feels, what a relief not to have to struggle the whole time like crazy against reality itself. That guy fighting the windmill, which you can't win against reality absolute. You cannot win against reality absolute. And why would you want to even try to fight it? The closer we get, the better life becomes. And if it should ever get into stretches where it really is harmonious and flows, well, then we are magic. Then we have synchronicities. Then we have star people coming into our life to help us. We have all sorts of wonderful things, and we're having a good time. So, yeah, that's the swan. That is the story of my swan. And the thoughts that went with it and around it. So, my dear darlings, thank you so much for listening to me today, my impassionate speech on the topic of, because this is really, from the earliest I can remember, this used to drive me nuts, is that I used to see intelligent people who thought they were stupid, and stupid people who thought they were intelligent, and beautiful people who thought they were ugly, and really ugly people who thought they were beautiful, and just this crunch, this reality divergence, this that just like, oh my God, lean into it. If you play to your strengths, then you are always strong. No, obviously. But if you don't even know what your real strengths are, who you really are, you can't play to your strengths. So I'm calling for a new inquiry. I'm absolutely saying that whatever any of us think about ourselves is likely to be wrong, distorted, and possibly the reason for most of the chaos in our lives. And I am officially now calling for a new inquiry, a fresh inquiry into who each one of us is, what we're capable of, so that we get to be more reality-based, that we get to be more who we are, to get to be ourselves more. Everybody wants to be themselves. But in order to find out who themselves is, we need to start with that, who you are, and then you can be yourself. And then we have, imagine living life with your idea of who you are and reality actually matching up and becoming one and the same. That's just crazy. Amazing. It's an amazing idea. But it's a nice goal, And as I say, the closer we get, the better it gets. So every little improvement will help, I believe. You don't have to solve it, only evolve it. Ah, my darlings, I hope that was fun. GOE members among you, Visibility 3 is going to be quite amazing. It astonished me when I recorded it yesterday. So you got something really interesting to look forward to. And if you're not a GOE member and you'd like to support my work, I encourage you to join us. We are here. This is the GOE is a place where we really want to try and help each other be brighter, be happier, be more energy rich, and not fight amongst ourselves, or, a safe space where we can practice love, practice love, practice receiving it, practice working with techniques and methods that are 100% built on that basic idea that love is the greatest power in the universe, and that if we can learn to use it correctly, we can literally empower ourselves and have more fun in life more often. That is my will. This is my wish. Okay, guys, I thank you very much for listening. Oh, go on then. Go on then. Thank you. Gosh, big important homework to do this week. Yes, I really invite you. You might start with an inventory on the table first if you want. Just notice what you're thinking about yourself or what you believe about yourself. And, just as the thoughts sort of come by and they come and go, just take a little, oh yeah, okay. Like the idea that, oh, I'm so lazy because I'm going to lie on the couch now. Might be time to challenge that. Is that really true? Am I really lazy? Let's have a look at the evidence of what I've been doing, like caring for 6 children until they were all grown up and at university, then earning the money to support them. Okay, you're really lazy? Oh, shall we challenge that? This sort of thing, Cool. What we got? Marianne, thank you very much for this very, very inspiring time this morning. I was really looking forward to sharing it with you today. I knew I was going to rant on something, and this thing with ducklings and swans is so central for healthy human beings in mind, body, and spirit to have the right, or at least a slightly right idea of who and what they are. I really do think that would help so much. As Bear said. Sunday injection of love. Oh, you're most welcome. Most welcome. Yes, it's great to have a space where we can actually talk about love amongst ourselves. And there's no one here who pours bile upon us or tells us that we're stupid, which is great. I love that. Oh, okay, here. Lorna said, beautiful live chat, Sylvia. Thank you. Since Star Matrix, I'm closer every day to who I really am. Oh, thank you so much. Lots of love to you too, dear Lorna. I look forward to talking about Star Matrix Pro with you and with some of the other star people. That's going to be amazing. Real threshold shift. Okay, that's me. Mercy. You're very welcome, Mercy. And thank you for being a part of this live stream today. That's Cheryl. Thank you, Sylvia. Have a great day. Lovely sunshine here in Manchester as well. Yeah, Eastbourne as well. On that happy note, my dear beloved friends across time and space, look after yourselves. Keep making that choice of when you have that choice. Look through the lens of love, not the lens of ashes. Life will become better, I promise, if we can keep our focus on that which we love. Lots of love to you, and goodbye from me, and I'll see you again next week for Sunday Live with Sylvia. Bye for now. Lots of love and sparkles. Have a good week, everybody.